hope you guys are having a good start to the weekend. Been very eventful, very hot today on my end. Gotta love being a landscaper. But lo and behold, here we are. We've almost made it through Monday, and once again, more developments have happened. A lot more developments have happened. So we're just gonna jump right into it here. We have 3 slight risk areas for tonight. We've had a pretty active day of severe weather reports. 48 wind reports, 52 hail reports, and even 3 tornado reports, one in Florida as well. There's still ongoing severe weather, by the way. We have actually 4 severe thunderstorm watches. We have one that includes Nebraska, South Dakota, and then we have another one that's including Panhandle of Texas and Oklahoma. Then we have western Kansas and eastern Colorado in play. And then we have the remnants of one more severe thunderstorm watch in Kentucky. Meanwhile, there's just unsettled weather all over the place. Pretty much to the central swath and even towards the Gulf Coast, there has either been thunderstorms today or there's still a chance for some thunderstorms. Just very, very active across the better part of the country altogether. Alright, now let's take a look at the threats that are upcoming in the next few days. We have the slight risk tonight, and now this is the big topic tonight. This is what we're mainly going to be going over. We have an enhanced risk now issued for Tuesday, which we're going to click on right now. Our enhanced risk is now for northern Kansas and southern and south central Nebraska, but also I want you to note, look at how big our slight risk area is. We have New Mexico and Colorado in play for this as well. We have pretty much almost all of Nebraska. We're even getting into little slivers of Iowa and Missouri as well. And then we have almost all of Kansas is involved, but I also want to note just how big is this marginal risk area. It's covering almost a third of the country. Even my hometown's in there. I'm right around the Atlanta area. But Northeast is involved. Only place that I don't see that isn't involved outside of the north and southwest here really is Mid-Atlantic. And maybe because I mean even the Ohio Valley's in play for this. It's crazy. But let's take a look at the hazards here. We'll look at the tornado threat. Not the highest thing we've ever seen, but it's not zero. There wasn't a very high tornado threat today, and we've still gotten 3 reports so far, and there's still time that we could get a couple of more. And we'll go to the wind threat, and this is where business really tends to pick up. Pretty much the entire marginal risk area even has a small wind threat here, so we'll have to be really careful of that. But our enhanced risk area has a 30% chance of damaging winds, and our slight risk has 15%. Hail threat, once again, big story here. On the western side of this slight risk and enhanced risk, we have a chance for significant hail noted by this which is highlighted by this hatch risk here. We have the yellow area right here, our slight risk, 15%, and our brown, which is the 5% risk area, our marginal. Go to day 3, and we have a marginal risk in effect, and this is pushing a little bit further to the east. We're going to have to start watching the southeast a little bit more, as these MCS type systems will be pushing their way further and further east. And then we have yet another storm system that is likely to cause yet another day of severe weather, maybe even an MCS around New Mexico and Panhandle of Texas, even extending into Colorado. We can say that Pueblo wouldn't be involved in this, but also in general, just look at the large swath of areas that have the opportunity to have thunderstorms form. The entire eastern seaboard is involved in this. Patterns active, very unsettled, very flip-floppy, and if you just happen to be caught in between that boundary between the warm and cold air, this is what happens. Take a quick look at days 4 through 8. And once again, we have a day 4 slight risk. It's a pretty big area. This wouldn't surprise me if this ends up being upgraded within the next day or two. We have Oklahoma City and Norman in play. We have Tulsa and Woodward as well. In Kansas, we have Liberal, Garden City, Wichita, and Colby in play. We have the eastern sliver of Colorado in play, and then we have central Nebraska in play, including McCook, which could be in line for some pretty nasty storms possibly. We go to day 5, and once again, we're noticing this threat switching further to the east. It's a little bit smaller of an area, but we can't rule this. We can't rule this. Can't rule out the possibility of this area expanding. We can also not rule out the possibility of this decreasing. But we have Birmingham, Memphis, Greenville, and Little Rock in play for this. Might have some potential severe weather in play for Friday towards the weekend. I mentioned earlier in my long-range forecast video that things were going to be getting active, and so far we've been right, which is a pretty nice feeling. And now we go to days 6, 7, and 8. Predictability is too low. I can easily see this changing as we get closer. We'll just have to be extremely watchful. And I'll probably have a long-range forecast coming out within the next couple of days. But let's go to what we can look at right now. I'm really vested in looking into Tuesday. In fact, we're going to try to get a closer view of things. Going to head towards the central U.S. And we're going to get a look at what the radar could look like tomorrow around here. I'm definitely leaning towards more of an MCS type of look. Maybe a line of storms, a bow echo. It wouldn't be far-fetched. This is the type of setup that kind of leans towards that look. And lo and behold, once we get into the overnight hours on Tuesday night into Wednesday, we do have a line of storms that's popping up here. And this looks like it tries to hold together for a bit and pushes to the southeast. Doesn't really get too far though. But severe weather really is going to begin to pop off probably around that 6, 7 o'clock hour time frame. Maybe even I'd say between 6 and 8, to be honest. I'll have to watch this other little line of storm that's popped up here. We'll even go ahead and get a look at the sounding here. It's marginal severe threat. Not a very impressive hordeograph, but the capes are very impressive. We have surface level cape, or no, wait. No, hoping I'm reading that right. SFC. I probably have read that wrong. Ooh, we even have a significant hail sounding analog here, so we'll have to watch this for both hail and damaging winds. But the cape values are over 2,000 as a mean, I would say. So this definitely checks out as a very strong storm system. Low level shear isn't really there. I think this kind of lends itself towards more of a hail threat. Lapse rates aren't very impressive either, but we'll have to watch that real close. The instability isn't really there, but who's to say that this thing wouldn't still be a troublemaker in its own right. So we move this along. Geez, this thing does not want to work with me, does it? Here's our line of storms. Here's the second line of storms that forms up. Let's move this to the southeast, actually. Alright, here we go. So here we are looking into early Wednesday morning. Weather really looks active around Arkansas, and then this line of storms moves further and further to the east, kind of not necessarily dissipates, but kind of becomes discombobulated from the looks of it. And then we get a lot of active weather around Alabama and Georgia late Wednesday evening. Around the Tennessee Valley, it looks like there's a lot of active weather as well. Trying to cover a lot of areas at once. I should have just stayed in the national view. I was just trying to give everyone a more up close look here, but I don't think that might have been the wisest idea. Excuse me. So we watch this move along, and then here's our Tuesday. Here's that little line of storms that we were looking at for Tuesday. Wednesday, this weather system rolls in, brings in a lot of unsettled weather. Here's our upper level low in the Ohio Valley region. But we see a number of strong storms even working their way into the Tennessee Valley in the southeast. Once we get towards the afternoon and evening hours, the southeast is in play for this, and then by Thursday this moves out, only to be followed up by another storm system. It's bringing in more rain. Friday might be a quiet day leading into the afternoon, but we'll have to see what that does too. But sheesh. Just seems like a very active pattern all around in the country. So it's one other thing I'm interested in looking into, and that's the tropics right now. Things are quiet right now, thankfully. Nothing really going on, but we are in hurricane season now, so I'm going to be doing this a little bit more every once in a while. Uh-oh. I didn't put this in loop. Just give me a second here. A little bit discombobulated with this video. It's been a long day for me, so I'm pretty tired. I'm going to be honest. But it seems like we're doing okay on video time. It's not awful. But we'll take a look. And I'm really interested in seeing what could be going on here, because this is where I think the greatest area of interest is going to be right now. Right around this little strait here between Mexico and Cuba. Now we're just waiting for my map to load. There we go. There we go. So as of right now, oh, we're gonna have to watch that a little bit closely, because we have something in the East Pacific that could be potentially forming, and it might do the same thing as Agatha and maybe towards the tail end become Alex. There's a lot that depends on it. We have these little areas like this right here that we'll have to watch real close to. Main thing that we look for during the early part of hurricane season are systems that form up close to home. This is a little interesting area right here. This is pretty far out, but this kind of goes back a little bit of a way, so that does give me a little bit of confidence. Not very much, given the fact that this is still about 270 hours out. And it took a while for the Agatha run to actually play out, because I was actually watching that for about maybe 2 weeks before it had happened. And we were waiting forever for it to pop up, but oh, look towards the end of this run. About 372 hours out, this actually starts to look a little bit like something. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's frozen on me. And just be a little bit patient. Wait a minute. Nope. Okay, there we go. So we got just one more little slide here to do. Boom. So we'll have to watch and see what this does. But that definitely kind of piques my interest a bit. Like I said, hurricane season started on the 1st, and this lasts until November 30th. So get used to me doing this. We're going to be looking at this a lot more often. And if by some chance you don't see me looking at this often enough, feel free to get on to me in the comments section. But this is all I got for you guys tonight. I will be making a video tomorrow, whether it's to check in on the severe weather or give you updates on future severe weather for the week. I will be on here tomorrow. Might be late. Let's hope not. But we'll see what happens. Until then, this has been Tired Metalhead Weatherman. I hope you guys have a good night. I will see you tomorrow.